there's another group of women that I know are listeners that were married and their husbands were serial cheaters. So I know that when I started this show that some of them were kind of like, okay, like this really sucks because, you're sitting here talking about that you were the other person in an affair and you are talking about it so loudly and like this brings up a lot of painful emotions for me. So I would imagine that those women in particular can hear this conversation with you and me and think like, fuck this website. They're
Mm.
helping facilitate the thing that hurt me the most. What do you say to those people?
Well, obviously, we get lots of criticism, right? I mean, think about it from this perspective. The Ten Commandments mention adultery twice, no other sin. So murder only gets
Mhm.
one, but
Mm,
adultery gets two. So there's a
mhm.
lot of animosity towards us from a societal perspective. But you can shut my business down tomorrow. It doesn't change anything. Like all these things are going to happen. They're going to happen elsewhere. Like, our
Mhm.
biggest competition is not another dating app. It's in fact really the office because traditionally that's more often than
Mm,
not where affairs take place because you spend so much time there and then you
mhm.
add in business travel or work events, holiday parties, all those great things. And that's where our biggest thing is. Like we all
So did you
remember
guys get
Coldplay concerts.
well, no, yes, that, but did you guys get a big uptick in COVID of memberships because people weren't going to work?
Huge. We were up,
I
I
bet.
think, initially like 30%. It was wild. It was like right away.
Wow.
Because think about it, like around the world, people were forced into their homes. Never
Mhm.
mind not being in the office, you're forced in your homes. And all the outlets we had at that point in our life to distract us from the cracks in our relationship, boys' night,
Mhm.
girls' night, sports, events, all the
Yeah.
things we did
Everything was
were gone
gone.
immediately. Now I'm 24 hours a day locked in a house with this person. And if you had a crack in that foundation, it was going to get exposed and it was going to
Mhm.
probably widen. And we
Mhm.
became an outlet for millions of people around the world for that very
Wow.
reason.
Wow, I bet. Yeah, I mean, I thought about it from the office perspective, but then as you started talking more about like, yeah, like we weren't having happy hours with our girlfriends. Like guys weren't going to a baseball game on Wednesday night after work. Like there
Yeah,
wasn't golf on the weekends. There wasn't, birthday
there was
parties for
nothing.
kids. Wow, yeah.
It was a very
Interesting.
tough time. And I think, for years, they will study the outcomes from that event in terms of
Mhm.
how it impacted every function of our lives, but particularly, obviously, from our
Absolutely.
perspective, how relationships changed dramatically because,
Mhm.
now I look at, because I'm recently dating again
Mhm.
and what I look for in a partner is so much more different than what I would have said in my early 20s.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I felt the exact same way. It's like it's almost like that's a whole different person. It's not just a different version of me. It's like an entirely different woman.
Yeah.
Isn't that I mean, it's nuts what, as you grow and change and go through all these different aspects of life and figure out who you are now, it's what you want and look for changes
Yeah.
dramatically.
And this is why, we going back to the beginning where I talked about Dr. Tammy Nelson's 5-year monogamy contract. You
Mhm.
change dramatically over the course of a relationship, your interests, your desires, your needs, your wants, all these things. And if you're
Mhm.
not talking about those changes, if you're not reflecting on those changes, you're doing yourself a disservice. And you're doing your
Yeah.
partner a disservice because you're expecting them suddenly to, change with you, but they don't know. They're not a mind reader. And
Right,
so
right.
you've got to say it for it to be real.
Mhm. Yeah.